everybody? Welcome to another brand new edition of T Watches a Scary Movie. My name is T, and of course we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for another brand new edition of the show. Remember, new episodes of the show go up every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but I'm dropping new reviews all throughout the week as it is, and the best way to stay on top of that for new episodes of the shows, all the other reviews that I'm doing, and other great stuff in the world of horror that I'm going to be talking, is to get subscribed to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed, that's going to actually give you access to my TikTok page where you can see all the funny horror TikToks that I'm putting up. You got access to my letterbox, see the written reviews for the new movies that I am reviewing here for y'all, and of course gives you access to my YouTube page for the video versions of the show and all your favorite podcasting platforms for the audio only versions of the show as well too. Hit that subscribe button, that'll give you access to everything. And for this month, you're definitely going to want to do that because while I am going to be looking into some great romantic horror to fit along with February and Valentine's Day and all of that, it is Black History Month, folks, so I'm going back and taking a look at some of the more influential Black horror films out there in history. Some of the ones I have not had a chance to talk about on this show yet. I've already got a chance to talk about Vampire in Brooklyn, and tonight I am talking Sugar Hill, or as it's known some places, the Zombies of Sugar Hill. And we're just going to jump right into it. Now, this is one that I had never seen in my life before. You know, when it came to this film, my dad actually owned a copy of this because growing up, I was so used to, we bought movies all the time. But my dad had a collection of VHSs to where they were either recorded like from Laserdisc or from a buddy who had a VHS copy of it. And we just had so many tapes like that. And Sugar Hill was one of those tapes, but it's not one that I ever took the time to watch. And to be quite honest, I didn't even know it was a horror film until the last 10 years or so ago, because up until then, I just thought it was an old Blaxploitation film, about gangsters and pimps and hoes and all that, and nothing wrong with that at all, but not something that, being a big horror fan, I was probably going to go to and check out anytime soon. And thinking about it, it might have been the horror noir documentary that put me onto it. And guys, look, there's going to be horror films that all of us that should probably know about a lot sooner than what we honestly do. But hey, it is what it is. But I'm pretty sure it was the horror noir documentary that talked about, the history of Black people in horror and the films and the writing and everything to go with that. It's a fantastic documentary. But it talked a little bit about Sugar Hill, some of the actors and filmmakers who were part of that documentary I'm pretty positive about. And so I've had it on my list. And I finally decided this was the time to get right around to discussing it, and it blew me away, y'all. I love this movie. This is gonna be a regular watch for me from now on. First of all, the fact that I recently got done discussing Warm Bodies, another zombie film. And if you haven't seen that one, it's about a zombie that falls in love with a human and shenanigans ensue from there. It's basically a John Hughes movie, but it's like a traditional zombie film. And when it comes to Sugar Hill is not a traditional zombie film. But it's not a traditional zombie film if you're watching it through today's lenses. Because you have to keep in mind, this film came out back in 1974. And by that time, zombie films like Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and so on, they still weren't that commonplace. So zombies were split between the flesh-eating creatures that we were starting to see more and more on the screen, and then the more traditional ties to voodoo, which basically meant that these were people being controlled by somebody else with this power they were harnessing and getting them to do the things that they want. And that leads us here to Sugar Hill, where the plot of this is a very, very simple one, to where Diana Sugar Hill's boyfriend is murdered, and he is the owner of a popular club down in Houston. And the mob, trying to get Sugar Hill's boyfriend to turn it over, and he won't, decides that they're going to take him out and just get Sugar to give them the club if they can't get it themselves. But they didn't count for the fact that Sugar is vengeful and she's going to get what is hers, which is the blood of those who are responsible for the death of her boyfriend, Langston. And y'all, man, The story is simple. The story is incredibly simple. It does not get much more elaborate than that. But y'all, let me tell you how much fun I really did have with this movie, honestly. It helps the fact that Mark A. Bay, who plays Sugar Hill, is just so magnetic on screen. You can understand why so many of the people that she's interacting with in that film either immediately, fall in love with her or lust, whatever you want to say, or they immediately just sense the tension, that there's like an energy issue at this point because she's throwing back everything that people put out to her. Because there's a lot of guys that are trying to intimidate her throughout this entire film, and Sugar holds her own. And she's presented as a mastermind, which especially for a black woman. And of course, it's Blaxploitation, so we're going to make sure that, black people look amazing in these films. But it's kind of crazy to think that this film seen today, there would be a lot of backlash on it today compared to back then. I actually think about it, because you're getting this strong black woman who's going around and taking revenge on mostly white men who have killed her boyfriend, and she's doing it effortlessly. And it helps the fact that everything surrounding Sugar in this film is just so damn enjoyable as well, too. Sugar goes to Mama Maitresse, who is going to connect her with Baron Samedi, who is the voodoo king, who commands this army of the dead. And Sugar's going to make use of that army in order to get her revenge. And the zombies that we see, they are truly terrifying more and more as the film goes on. And when you first see them, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit humorous. There's some laughs in there for sure, which makes sense. We are watching a Blaxploitation film. There's gonna be some things that are a little bit over the top for sure. But as the film goes on and Sugar and this army are carrying out more and more murders, they're completing her revenge, it starts to get a little bit more serious, because then it stops being so much for laughs as you realize, she's killing all these guys, and she's kind of in the right about it because they killed her boyfriend, and they're kind of trying to kill her as well, too. But it just keeps getting more and more serious. And the guys she's facing off with, they're scumbags. They're honestly just downright scumbags. And they're trying to play Sugar. A lot of that has to do with the fact that she's a woman, that she's black, she doesn't understand what she's doing at all. And the commentary of this film is just fantastic as well, because again, this is a very empowering movie. Yeah, it's a simple plot of this woman's getting revenge for the death of her boyfriend, but the way that she goes about it, the way that she's 100% committed to it, and not only that, but she still keeps a level head enough to where, a former fling of hers, who is the cop that's investigating everything that's going on, as he's getting closer, she's not going to let him get harmed. And she's even told, this would be so much easier if we just kill him. This cop is in the way right now. If we take him out, this is all so much easier. And she still finds a way around that as well, too. This movie, honestly, is incredible. And Blaxploitation or not, I actually think this set a strong precedence for getting strong black female roles in horror films, because honestly, we got to see a lot of that over the decades as they've continued on. Yes, women absolutely are the star of the majority of horror films that we get, and rightfully so, because god damn it, there are some great final girls in our history, y'all, for sure. But I truly think that Sugar Hill took this idea and showed that women don't have to be like these fragile creatures who aren't smart, who aren't strong, can't fend for themselves, can't make these plans that are fucking epic at this point, and push those on through. And I realize this back in the 70s, so it's not like we had a lot of films at that time, but it's hard not to look at a lot of modern horror, especially over the last 20 to 30 years, and realize that as we've seen a lot more strong black female roles in horror, that a lot of this has to come from the inspiration that Sugar Hill has definitely put down. So it's definitely one I recommend to see. You're going to get a lot of blood. You're going to get a lot of action in it. And the film actually does get a bit on the scarier side as it gets towards the end of the film, and the stakes kind of get raised higher and higher and higher. So it's definitely one that you're going to want to check out for sure, y'all. Again, it's a simple plot, so you don't have to dive too far into it. But If you're picking up what I'm throwing down, let me know in the comment section here, y'all, because this one, honestly, is my favorite watch of the year thus far. I'm absolutely in love with this film, and again, it's going to be something I'm checking out regularly. So, go and check out Sugar Hill. Again, 1974 one, not the 90s one with Wesley Snipes, even though I love Wesley Snipes, love Leon as well too, but that's not the one I'm talking. Check it out. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, y'all, because again, I got way more to talk to y'all about this month. We got Death by Temptation coming. We got Eve's Bayou coming. You're not going to want to miss this at all, y'all. But that's it for me tonight. My name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared. Hey everybody, looking for a great way to stay up to date on horror news as well as read the best of articles on anything scary out in the world right now? Then you need to head over to the Fangoria shop and get yourself a subscription. If you go to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW, you can use my own personalized 20% discount to save 20% off on Fangoria magazine subscriptions, as well as 20% off any other items in their fantastic shop. This is a great deal. If you've ever been wanting to get yourself a subscription, now is the time to do so. Head to shop.fangoria.com/AXDEW.